Todd, what time are you in? Todd, what time are you in today? All right, thanks, buddy. All right, thanks, Peter. I appreciate the help. Thank you.
Yes.
I have a 3 o'clock today. 3 o'clock. Tell Peter it's at 3. What a day.
It's only fucking 11.
It's only 11. I've been up since 6.
Fuck that. Sorry.
That's what happens. You've got, woke up, went back to sleep for a minute, woke back up. It's just about getting it done.
Nice.
Hi, my name's Chris Cosentino. We're here to talk shit about myself. The most awkward thing in the world, talking about yourself. No, I don't like talking about myself. It's weird.
Why?
Because I think becomes kind of egocentric. I'm just don't dig that. I think no matter what, yes, I love doing things for people and bigger picture stuff, but it's still weird. It's like I'm far from perfect. I have plenty of issues. So, my name is Chris Cosentino. We are here in San Francisco at my restaurant Cockscomb. In Rhode Island, which is a pretty hefty flight from here. But I have Jackrabbit in Portland, restaurant up there. I have Acacia House, which is in St. Helena, Napa, and then as well as Rosalie, which is in Houston, Texas. So I was working in Washington, D.C. I mean, that was my first job out of culinary school. I started working for Mark Miller at the Red Sage, and then transitioned over to work for Bob Kincaid, Kincaid's American Brasserie. And in around 1996, all the boxes are coming in to the produce terminals, all the wine, everybody's talking California, 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 California. It's California produce, California this. And DC was amazing. It was a great kickstart to my career, but San Francisco was like, do I move to New York or do I move to California? I'd never been to San Francisco. I'd been in New York a bunch, and my wife, Tatiana, at the time was my girlfriend, and she'd been to San Francisco. So we made a plan, and in 6 months, we moved here in 1996. Such a different place to move to. You could move here and live here, and there was beautiful wines, there was amazing produce, there was farmers markets, you had this culinary revolution happening here. Alice Waters, everybody was talking about Chez Panisse and all the food, and it was just this eye-opening opportunity. It was like the land of, it was still pretty cowboy at the time. You could walk down the street wearing go-go pants with your hair on fire and nobody would care. It was like the sexual revolution happened here, music, Grateful Dead, you had all this, everything was happening, and there was a food revolution happening here. So we drove across country. In San Francisco from 96 to now is like, I don't know, it's so different. But also I think I have a different perspective, because when I moved here, I was, much younger. I was a line cook. I was broke. I was working 2 jobs. volunteering every chance I got. I didn't have any responsibility other than paying my rent, and the other thing was ultimately just, learning. So, of course, you view a place differently when you're here as a young, don't worry about life, you have no responsibility, things are different, right? But I've also seen a major transition in cost of living. We've seen 2 tech booms, 2 tech crashes. So there's definitely, it's been a lot, Culinarily, the city has gone through multiple changes and rounds, and it's a pretty amazing place. I can't see myself just saying, I don't want to be here, but I think there's a really poignant quote that was just in that movie, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. It's like, you have to love the city before you can hate it. And I truly love the city. I think there's so many cool things about it every day. It's like, it's, what's today? It's January 21st, 22nd. The sun is beaming outside. It's a balmy 60 degrees. Whereas you go back east and it's negative 12. So that's why we have this beautiful bounty of produce and wine and lifestyle. So I think it ultimately depends on what you want to get out of life, where you want to be, and produce galore here. People are excited. People want to do the best, So yeah, it's definite change, but progress is normal. If there wasn't progress, we'd all be wearing wooden shoes and fur pelts still, right?
The biggest thing that we need to worry about is pulling up some of the old costs, like let's pull the ragu, the pork ragu existing, integrate the cost of the new rigatoni set, all that stuff, just so we're good. Like, do we have the tendons and the cost of the caviar? Do we have that cost set?
It's on that list of things.
Okay.
So if you look at a piece of paper that's coming out of menu, that's what's left.
Chichichitas, duck wings. So if we look, cauliflower, we have an existing cost. Let's pull it up.
I'm not gonna do that, right? Do you want to put that on? Okay, well, that all on.
No, I know, but we're going to do a side, the cauliflower is on the list. So we're getting rid of the bread as a side. We're getting rid of, we're going from 6 to 4. So if we do cauliflower and duck fat, we have the existing, we just need to make sure the cost is accurate to, yeah, we will. But the point I'm trying to make is like, we have some existing costs, we just need to make sure the current costs are accurate. They need to go longer. See how there's the dry spots? Is this all of it?
No. I had him do one. I didn't want him to do all this work and how it works. So I want to make sure he shaved one sheet drinks. So that's
Great.
where we
So
start.
yeah, see how they're a little thick? They need to go longer. And then
Literally getting that. I still see.
Look, I think everything is a life lesson. Every day is a life lesson. I learn from my mistakes. I learn from other people's mistakes. I'm flawed just like everybody else. Is there one moment that has changed all? The moment that I admitted that I had mental health issues, I think, was huge for me personally. At least I had an understanding and finally could look at myself and have a solid answer of why things were pear-shaped and why I wasn't figuring it all out. But do I think that there was other moments? Of course, there's culinary moments. There's, of working with people or figuring something out or making a mistake culinarily and having it turn out to be something really cool that I never expected. So there's always something, but I think on a personal level, it's admitting the fact that I do have mental health issues, that I can address them, that I have been able to move past them and grow from it. I think that's probably been, for me, the most poignant or most personal, but I don't think there's any, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird talking about yourself. It's weird trying to, say, hey, this is the answer to that. There is no not everybody's answers are always correct. Not everybody's answers are wrong, but it's a weird situation, you know? Like, my things affect me. It may not affect somebody else. But I think the bigger picture is I've learned to become a better person and transition into being able to manage myself better, manage people better, and work in a different direction, I think, maybe.
So, sweet potato we have, cacio we need to do, cauliflower is done, verde's done, lamb meatballs we did, duck wings we'll do aligo tots, so we're not bad off, and we also need to look at the large seafood tower. And then the seafood cocktail is going to get the base scallop, the shrimp, and the octo, right? Okay, great.
I had a pretty solid injury where I had third-degree alkaline burns in my stomach, which eradicated all of the nerve endings. Your stomach is what produces a lot of the chemicals that your brain needs. The nerve reactions happen from that to allow your body to deal with stress, anxiety. So it's melatonin, serotonin, and all these other things. And my body doesn't produce it anymore. So it really created a downward spiral. If I go down hard. So I have to deal with, taking CBDs, taking synthetic melatonin and SRIs and I don't know what the heck all the drugs are they give me, but I have to take those to give me stability and balance, which is, it's not easy telling somebody you're crazy, but that's okay. People either like it or lump it. They can either deal with it or not, and that's okay. I know what I am. I know what I can do. I know what I can handle. I deal with what my stuff is every day. I go to crazy school once a week, take crazy pills every day. I just move on. When you go in, for me, if I spiral, I usually just have to dig myself into something else to take my mind off the moment. So majority of the time I can stay out of the down by riding my bike. I cycle a lot. I do multiple different things to deal with my own, anxiety and depression and mental health stuff. Taking CBD 50 milligrams a morning really helps me. Following through with protocols with what the doctor tells me really helps me. But also one of the bigger things is really having exercise balance out the endorphins to give me better stability. And also, if I do get spiraled, I can refocus and redirect myself into a task and put all my energy into the task that I'm working on and focus on completing some things, which gives your brain a bit of closure so that it slows down the spiral and then you can get out of the funk. But that's how it works for me. Will it work for somebody else? I don't know. So I think the big thing about cooking is that I can really help change someone's day in such a simple way. People go out to dinner for multiple reasons. It's not just about the food, it's about the environment, the feeling of being welcome, the smile that greets you at the door, the thank you when you walk away. But just the conviviality component of it and making people feel special, to me, is a really powerful thing. And giving taste memories is awesome. Everybody has taste memories. Everybody has a memory from their childhood or a memory of a thing, whether it be having an ice cream cone drip down your hand as a child, standing on a boardwalk, and in one hand's that ice cream cone and the other hand is a giant cotton candy, and you're standing there in the summer on a boardwalk, and that memory or that experience is there. Or it's the first time ever having a piece of beef that has been cooked over charcoal. There's always these moments for people that are powerful. Having a meal with your grandmother, your first birthday cake. Being able to give people another taste memory it's kind of magic. Not many people can say that. It's When was the last time you went to, and I hate to say this, sorry dude, I love my dentist, but hey, I went to the dentist and I had the best memory of getting my wisdom tooth pulled. Like, it's not a cool, not that it's not an important part of everybody's day, but most people don't have the fondest memories of getting a teeth cleaning or having their taxes done, or like, it's a pretty cool experience to give someone that feeling. And it's, I love that feeling that you get with a grandparent or with someone, and I want to always continue with that feeling of hospitality moving forward. And you know, there's a difference as I've gotten older. You know, when you're a younger cook, it's about putting, you know, put a lot of stuff on the plate and you hope it all works, and you're hiding your flaws by more stuff. But as you get older, less is more. You learn to refine yourself. And you also learn that the guest is ultimately who's right. You know, and I want to make the guest happy. And I think that is the bigger picture for me, is making the guest smile, making the guest feel special every day. And if, you know what, if that guest wants a medium well steak, then that's their choice, because that's what makes them happy. I'm not gonna judge them, or, you know, I think a lot of it is putting your own ego aside, and I think that was the biggest thing as a young cook, is you wanna make your mark, you wanna do, you know, making your mark is making people happy. Leaving people with great memories, I think, is the most important thing. The moment you're so, and I'm just as much to blame. Like, I was so hung up for so long on winning awards and being recognized that I think I got in my own way of being a better chef and a better leader and a better cook. And it takes that moment of saying, you know, it's not always about that. And it took me a while, I think, getting injured, learning to deal with my mental health, and being able to step back and look at the bigger picture was, I think, the most important thing. You know, it really makes you make better decisions about how you cook, who you're cooking for, and why you're cooking, instead of, hey, check out what I did first, and check out how cool I am, and my stuff's better than yours, and who cares? You know, let the guest be the decider, not you know, not your own ego. And if the guest wants to come back and keep having fun and giving them what they want, and then you're ultimately winning.
I can see the cheese bubbling right here, so I know my grilled cheese is just about done. See how it's gooey in there now? I'm looking for that ooey gooey love, pushing down, making sure it's all good. Now, what I want to do is get this duck egg onto my sandwich. Perfect dead center. One more check. Yes. We're nice and golden brown below. Flake salt on the egg yolk. Black pepper on that egg yolk. Now the key is that honey. That is nice and gooey. But the key is having just enough truffle on it. So the idea of having a really rich taleggio with Gruyere, buttery bread, yolk, and then truffle honey, perfect balance. That's the whole goal here. So take a very simple sandwich,
that everybody knows and loves from their childhood, and elevating it to the next level where people feel special. This could be an appetizer, or some people get it as a cheese course at the end of their meal. But it's really a nice way to have such a simple thing elevated. That again is what Cockscomb's all about, is like really taking what's quite beautiful and what we take for granted every day and elevating it to the next step.